Activision devs do not play their own game. It's not your dad doesn't support you.
You should know, you worked at a coffee shop, you stupid bitch.
My name is Casey, and absolutely not fucking Tanner, because my parents don't hate me that much.
Hey, did they have just 8 patches lined up, but they just didn't release them because they were on break? No, you moron kids.
Then we'll, of course, get into it. Change your fucking name and get scammed. He's feeling under the weather.
I probably won't say another word until Stay Humble, so have a good pod, Raz. I'll be here listening.
Got it. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Dropshot Call of Duty podcast, episode number 234. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon, and I am joined, as usual, by wearing the OG, super OG merch, my good friend Tanner. Tanner, when's the last time you donned that t-shirt?
I'll wear it off stream sometimes. I mean, I don't leave the house with it. That's embarrassing, but I'll walk around the house with it. I can't even remember who made this now. I know they're not around anymore. Jedi Knife or something?
On Instagram. Yeah, I think it was Jedi Knife, yeah.
Shout out to Jedi Knife.
Shout out to Jedi Knife, friend of the pod for sure. He made some little designs. We made some merch out of it. Welcome to the show. If you're new here, if you're a new listener, there are timestamps, so you can skip to whatever section of this program you would like to listen to. Now, before we get into it, the episode today, I'll just say this. Today we're doing first impressions of Season 3 Reloaded, which was a big patch, an overall impactful patch, and we'll give you guys kind of our overall impressions at the end of this program. But we do have a lot to say because there was a lot done to the game, and this is going to be a good episode, and I'm excited to get into it. Now, before that, as I said, a couple announcements. First, our latest Patreon episode is now live. It is available to Platinum and Damascus patrons. It is the episode we had intended to do like 2 separate times now. We finally got around to doing it. It is sniping in Warzone. So, by the way, for all of you who are patrons, I changed slightly how I'm delivering the Patreon episodes. On Patreon, I used to do a post with audio so that it would show up in your RSS feed. And then I would do a separate post with a link to the video of the same episode. And I figured this is dumb, and I've heard people complaining about how they get fucking email raped when we release an episode because they get 2 at the same time. I schedule at the same time. So now what I'm doing is I'm just making 1 bonus episode post on Patreon with the audio embedded so you can still listen on a podcast feed, on the RSS feed. But if you still want to watch the video link will always be in the description of that Patreon audio post or whatever. So if you're seething that you can't watch video anymore, you're wrong. You still can. The link is just embedded in the audio post. So now it's only 1 Patreon post. So just in case you were curious, where the fuck's the video? It's there. Just use your brain. Now, anyway, we did that episode, Sniping in Warzone. Pretty long ep. Pretty good ep. We had a lot to say about it. And I will add, since we recorded this yesterday, I'm not like 100% sold on what our conclusion in that episode was. I'm fairly confident, but it's still, I think, ultimately too early to tell. But I think we had a lot of good insights, and I think it was a good episode. And that is now available for you guys. What did you think of that piece of media?
Yeah, I thought it was really solid. I thought there are some people that are just going to want to snipe either way. So it's like we kind of made that point that it's like, yeah, if you're good at sniping still, then you're just a good sniper, and that's fine. But for the vast majority of people listening, that's just not the case anymore. And an assault rifle is just going to be better for you almost always. And we broke down a lot of things. We talked about Rebirth and Caldera. I thought it was a really good episode. We haven't got any feedback on it yet, but a lot of people don't listen on weekends, so hopefully Monday we'll get some feedback on that, because I feel like that one will be kind of a hot topic of discussion in the Discord. So I'm excited to see what you guys all have to say about it. I thought it was really good, and that's the one that we were gonna do as a Saturday episode. Yeah, but it's good we did it as a Patreon episode. It wasn't quite long enough for a Saturday app, but I think it was very interesting. I like talking about it.
Yeah, for sure. It was a good app. Also, we are still fundraising through the month of June, and I got it right this time, for a new podcast overlay. Our goal is $500. It's probably going to be a little more than that, but we're going to do it either way. And if we can get 500 from the community, that would be very helpful, obviously. And to that end, we've gotten a couple of donations. Now, I don't have any messages pulled up if there were any attached. But let me say, we got some contributions. First, from Nicole Horrific. Young lady, friend of the pod, advertisement guru, consultant on the set of Mad Men, which is about the Madison Avenue advertising boom in New York in the 60s, 50s, 60s.
She was, really?
No, of course not. She just works in ads, so I thought it was a dumb thing to say, and I'll edit it out. But anyway, Nicole with the $20, extremely generous. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Also, Drexler, another friend of the pod, grown ass man, war criminal, tech guru, drone operator, and globetrotter. A real globetrotter. He was in the sky throwing us cash, which was virtually, which was very interesting. And I like the idea of that. With a $20 as well. Drex, thank you very much, dude. Very much appreciated. A king, for sure. And a Chad. And a god. And last, but certainly not least, in fact, most, Slivovitz, grown ass man, real grown. Shadow,
grown, yeah. Fully grown.
Shadow listener, Shadow funder. He's like you guys know how like politicians get elected for like president or whatever, and then like people on Twitter will post like, here's all the big fucking crazy companies that rape children contributed to Ted Nugent's campaign, and it'll list like, I don't know, the Saudi Emirate, fucking all this crazy shit. Slivovitz is that for the Dropshot. He wants to stay in the shadows. He doesn't want it known that he's a silent contributor, but we're gonna put him on blast anyway. Slivovitz offline very extremely generously donated a giant 100 United States dollars to the absolute fund.
Pog.
Huge pog, giant contributor. One of our longest time listeners that's still around, I would add.
Yeah.
Real friend of the pod, real king. Always in the background. He's watching, dude. He's like the Watchman, right? I don't read comic books.
I don't care, yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, I don't care about comic books, but I do care about Slivovitz, and he cares about us. Sliv, thank you very much, dude. Always,
thanks, buddy.
Always super generous. Not necessary, but of course, greatly appreciated. Sliv, you're a king. So we are now 28% of the way toward our goal, and we have 32 days left. I'll take it.
That's not bad. Yeah.
Thanks, community. Excuse me. Thanks, three of you.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. We're getting there. Very kind of you guys, for real. So thank you all very much, and we'll keep you guys apprised on the status of that. We probably won't need to, because you guys are shit. But not those three, so thank you guys. Now, next, our second edition of a new segment we have the material for this time is, of course, dumbest TikTok comment of the day. Now, we said there's plenty of material, and Tanner has chosen a candidate. How hard was it to choose between this comment and maybe 40 others? Was the competition
There were a lot of them,
fierce?
yeah. There were a lot more that were more funny. This one isn't really funny. It's just insane that people share this viewpoint, which is why I wanted to point this one out. So we'll have a lot more funny ones. This one, though, this candidate, I have a feeling will be a repeat offender.
Is this a?
Because I look at every comment. I read all of them. This guy literally has commented on at least 4 of our videos, saying what we said was wrong, and then complaining about us complaining nonstop and saying, well, why do you play the game if it's bad? He's one of those people. So, without further ado, our dumbest comment of the day.
What talk was it on?
It was on the footstep audio will never, or I think it was on the recent one about footstep audio didn't really seem to change anything, or when we were reading the patch notes for it.
Okay, yes, I remember. Okay, got it.
So he has a terrible TikTok name. I won't read it. You can find the comment if you want. So I'm going to read it, and I'm going to give us all a nice little pause so we can gather and think about what he said.
Okay,
quote,
great.
Still complaining about the footsteps? I hear them all day. You need to change your settings. Stop complaining. ...
Did this have 1,000 likes?
I don't know if that one had any.
That's shocking, actually.
So it's crazy to me because I'm 30. I can't hear anything. Jake's 16. He can't hear anything. Aiden is 18. He can't hear anything. None of the Warzone pros have anything good to say about the footstep audio. Yet this
good player.
This man, I must say, gotta be. I've checked out his TikTok. He's at minimum 45 years of age, just claiming he can hear everything.
Okay, interesting.
Got it. So as I've said many times, there are many players that exist in Warzone and video games in general that are actually too dumb and low skilled to think about or realize the reasons they die, and this is a prime example of that. It's crazy that it's always the most average players or below average players complaining about things that better players complain about, thinking they know more and that they're right.
Yep.
So Breadman 8 KD. No, I can hear everything fine. You're just bad at the game, Breadman. I don't know. Change your settings, man. Got it.
Yeah,
he's insane. One of those people. Absolute insanity.
So we were talking about
I just can't believe it.
Yeah, we were talking about this in the Fire group chat. And I said, which I still stand by, this guy dies so often that he can't discern why he died every time he died.
Yes.
Because he's not good enough to notice or care. So the reason Jake will lose his mind when he dies because he didn't hear someone he should have heard is because Jake is good enough to know that that's why he died. Because he's a good player who's aware of things.
Yep.
But when you're this guy,
some guy,
6 beers deep, 3 fans blasting in the background, your smoke alarm is going off, you're annoying all of your pub teammates.
Ignoring your screaming
with your
children.
Open mic, of course. Yeah. And you die because you're not a good player and you don't know anything, right? You don't even know how many times you've died because you didn't hear the guy when you should rightfully be upset that you died because you didn't hear the guy you should have heard. But you're too bad to ever pick up on that being the reason why you died, because when people know the reasons why they die, they tend to not die to those things as often, and they tend to be better players. When a good player dies, they think, could I have done anything differently there to not die there? Or was it completely out of my control, such as he was tack sprinting on metal a foot from me with no dead silence, and I didn't hear him. So if that happens, okay, well, there's nothing I could have possibly fucking done. But a lot of times there are things you could do, and that's why they're good players, and not this guy. That's actually what I think is happening. 100%. So yeah, if he thinks he hears footsteps, that's great. So
another thing too that I will say, every clip I looked at, he was playing solos. So solos is easier to determine footsteps because you hear anything at all. The one, there's no people talking in your ear. Two, if you hear any sounds, it's another person that's not on your team, so it is easier to tell in that case. He doesn't have friends, but when you have friends and you play with people, it gets a lot worse. So I will say that too. If you're one of those people that think footstep audio isn't bad, you're probably playing solos. You can't say that in quads. I will do things to you that I can't say on Twitch.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. There's the dumbest TikTok comment of the day. We'll have plenty more for you as the days roll by. I made 6 TikToks of our last episode. 6. And they're still trickling out on YouTube Shorts, the Dropshot podcast on YouTube, and they'll be coming out on TikTok as well. And they're of the highest possible caliber. And they took me 2 hours to make a total of 6 minutes of footage. Cool. But it's been worth it. The TikToks have been going brazy. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
Have the TikToks been going brazy or what?
Oh, yeah, they've been going brazy. Yeah, what are we at? I mean, even this last one we posted this morning, I posted 2 hours ago. It's over 1,000.
That's not bad.
1,058, 10,000, 46,000, 34,000. Yeah.
Hella impressions, dude. A
lot of
hella
impressors.
Likes too. Yeah, so anyway. All right, so what is this next announcement, Tanner?
Next announcement is this last pro tip for all of you guys, because I've seen, so many people, including like big Warzone streamers, still don't know this is a thing. So here's my tip for unlocking the new SMG. Go to play Modern Warfare multiplayer. 3 sliding kills in 15 different matches is what you need for the Blixen or whatever this gun's called. It has 6 different names. Play Shoot the Ship, which is always a playlist in MW.
I want the Rudolph.
Get 3 sliding kills, you back out. First I did a hipfire SMG. Wasn't as fast as I liked, so then I used a shotgun. And then I got the idea, I should knife, because I got knifed by some kid. I'm like, dude, that'd be a really good idea. So if you get like, the knifing for me was the fastest. If you get shipment, 3 sliding knife kills, I'm not kidding. One of the games I got them, from the second I spawned in, it took me 12 seconds, and then I was backing out. 12 seconds.
That's crazy.
That was the fastest by far, but even the other ones would take like a minute or 2. So it's insane. On Shoot House, use an SMG or a shotgun to do your sliding kills. Another tip in MW that Lag told me that I forgot about is it will say low blow if you get a sliding kill. So that's how you know that one counted.
That's the middle, yeah.
Because it's pretty... as soon as that slide ends, that will not count. So there are ones you think will count, and they just won't. So pay attention for the pop-up when you get a kill in core that says low blow, because that'll tell you got one, and then just count them to yourself. Of course, it doesn't track in MW. You have to open up Warzone, which the cross launch is really fast, and then you can check in Warzone how it's how much progress you have. So, I mean, between queuing and actual playtime, literally 30 minutes or so, because it seems like the general consensus.
You will get notified once it's unlocked, even if you're in multiplayer, right?
No, I don't think so. Not an MW, since it's not an MW gun, no.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it seems like the general consensus from all like the big YouTubers is that this will be meta once it's fixed. There's like a weird bug with it right now. I haven't used it in Warzone, so I don't know exactly what it is, but it's something like when you stop sprinting, you can't shoot the gun for a second or 2. So it's almost unusable, because being an SMG, that's a massive problem. But the time to kill and everything is really, really good. So I think I would level it up if I were you. Once I heard that, once JGod put out a video, he said, I think this could be in the absolute meta category once this bug is fixed. I said, okay, I need to unlock this. So yeah, don't do it in Vanguard. Just don't. If you have MW,
like 2 or 3
if you have MW and good internet, I'm not kidding, you'd be better off reinstalling MW multiplayer, and it'd still be faster after you finish re-downloading it, reinstalling it, and then doing it than it would be in doing it in Vanguard. Yeah.
Literally like 90 minutes faster.
You can do that with every gun, guys.
In Vanguard.
Yes, you can do that with every gun that comes out. It's not an MW gun. It doesn't matter. You can do the challenges in Modern Warfare and still.
And you can back out.
Know that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the big thing. So there you go. All right. So other than that, no more announcements. We've got Tom and shit. Or I'm sick. Here's the jingle.
Oh, okay. Got it, man.
You fucking
Gav, thanks for the tier 1 for 14 months, buddy. Appreciate you, King. We got to start planning a tournament. Let's do another tournament. I can go for one. Because we need to do that.
Plan that for sure.
No, remember we had the idea. We said we'll put everything to a vote. So when people complain, we'll say, oh, well, you don't care. We didn't plan this. You guys did. You guys voted on everything that you wanted.
You know what we should do? Dude, tell me your thoughts on this. We have a sign-up sheet that says, would you like to participate in a Dropshot tournament? The Dropshot Democracy Tournament. No one knows the rules because they don't exist yet until you sign up. Once you sign up, we have sign-ups go on for 2 or 3 weeks. Once we have everyone signed up, now we have our roster. And now those people and only those people are allowed to vote and required to vote on all the rules. So that we don't have people voting on shit that aren't actually going to play. Like
yeah, because people will vote and then have no interest in playing.
Exactly.
I ruin Twitter polls all the time by doing that. I vote on something random that I don't care or give a shit about. You know, just ruin it. That's what I do.
Just because you can.
Just because I can.
Just to cause chaos. Yeah. Like the Joker. All right. Welcome to the show. Today, first impressions on Season Trey Reloaded. So
Season Trey, huh? Tress?
That's how it is in French, right?
Oh, it's French? I have no idea. Why would I know French? We live in Southern California.
Uno, due, tre. Italian? maybe both. I don't care.
Uno, dos, tres. I think it's Spanish.
Well, it's not Spanish. We've broken this into 4 categories. Good, bad, meh, /neutral, /undecided, and then our overall impressions. And within each category, these are going to be in no particular order as per usual. Now, before we get into this, let me also add, I have been sick. I have not wanted to play Warzone since this happened. I don't know what I have, but I bet it's COVID.
It's not.
Well, maybe not, but I am sick with something.
What are your symptoms?
Wet cough and sore throat.
Not COVID, yeah.
And like mucusy throat too.
COVID's dry cough usually.
And just feeling like dog shit.
You're probably COVID's a dry cough? Boy. It's actually crazy. Yeah, you leave your house like once to hang out with people in like the last 3 months, 4 months, and you get sick. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah,
you have such a weak little boy shit body. Oh my god.
I do, because I don't leave my house anymore.
You
so
just tell your body to not
does
get
nothing.
Sick. Yeah.
And then it just gets bombarded with all these other people. Yeah. I should have just shot them all.
Okay.
Well, never mind.
Yeah.
That's a joke. Relax.
Yeah. Way
and
too
we'll edit
soon
that out. Yeah. Not the right time. Not the right time. I didn't think about that, but not that Michael's family doesn't deserve to be killed, of course, in game, of course. And that's also a joke. Let's start.
Should we just not even go any further? Should we just end it here? This is going south quick.
Yeah, I'll see you guys later.
We can just, this is... Yeah.
What is this first point, Tanner?
Okay,
What's the first
let's let
thing?
me talk.
Oh, wait, no. Wait, hold on. Let me finish. Yeah, I've been sick, so I haven't played that much of Season 3 Reloaded. I've played like twice, not as much as I would like to, but I've also been watching a fair amount of streams as well. So, just full disclosure, I have not played enough to be doing this episode. I would have liked to have played more. I've probably played 3 or 4 hours since Season 3.
Yeah, well, they are first impressions. That's the point.
Yeah.
Don't always have to play a whole lot. So first, good impression, I guess. So the STG is still the best AR, but the recent weapon balance update they've made some other guns usable, viable. They made some changes to the AS-44, the NZ-41, supposedly fixing the recoil pattern, which, by the way, is still bugged. True Game Data posted something about that. I'll throw that in here, about how like the recoil is still totally random. One of the Warzone devs responded. He's like, "Ooh, we'll look into this on Monday because that's not right at all."
The NZ?
Yeah, the NZ-41. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
So he was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna look into this Monday because that is not intended. That's not supposed to be what it's about." So I like that dev, by the way. He gives a lot of inside feedback like that. insider information, as they say.
Yeah, I like devs that actually like talk to the community that they make the fucking multiplayer game for. It's pretty cool when people do that.
Yeah.
In 2022, when everyone has Twitter and it couldn't be possibly fucking easier to interact with the community. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I agree.
Yeah, it couldn't be easier. Yeah. Anyways.
Fuck Ashton Williams.
So the bar is one of those guns that's became pretty good now. So you can use like the 50 cal option, which is the cal up option on the bar for a long range setup. It's got a dog shit fire rate, but it kills fast if you can hit your shots and people aren't moving, essentially. So that's like a good option now that you can use on Caldera. Is it better than in the STG? For the average person, absolutely fucking not. But it's a fun, different gun to experiment with that has a really good time to kill, really insane headshot multiplier.
I feel like if you're up fairly close, you would love to have a bar.
Yeah.
Like at 15 meters, you're so happy.
Oh, because you're hitting every headshot easily.
Exactly.
Yeah, you aim for the head
or just every
easily.
Shot even. Like the fire rate doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, and there's not any recoil. So that's a solid Caldera build, the longest barrel. I was actually using recoil booster on mine for a little bit faster time to kill. I don't know if it's worth it. And then the 50 cal option on that sucker. Solid for Caldera. It's got like 1,600 meters per second bolt velocity, nutty. And then also if you're playing Rebirth, or you could do it on Caldera too. The
on Rebirth,
velocity is just a lot worse. The cal down option, there's with the fire rate barrel on Rebirth and recoil booster, is also a really good setup. It again has no recoil at all. And it's simple to control, so that's kind of like an easier setup to use. It just, the bullet velocity is I think under 1,200 meters per second, so it's not the best. You'd have to kind of lead targets on Caldera. It wouldn't feel too great. It'd be good enough, but it wouldn't feel as good as 1,600 velocity. So both of those are good options. And I mean, there were some unfortunate things, like they absolutely gutted the AMAX. We said like a long time ago, we expected this to happen when Caldera came out, like, oh, MW Cold War AR is going to be trash. They didn't do it. Now we're finally getting to that point where they're like, okay, we're done with MW ARs. And the AMAX was just completely gutted. But yeah, so weapon balance, again, pretty good spot. A lot of different guns you can use.
Yeah, agreed. And I think what I'm more pleased with is that, yeah, like the meta AR right now is the STG, that Stiggy thing, which is good because it's a new gun. Because like, oh no, the AMAX got ruined. It's like, okay, well, it's also fucking 8 years old. I'm done using the AMAX. I've used it enough. I'm over it. I want it to be all Vanguard guns, and we are finally there. Where not all the Vanguard ARs are good. In fact, almost none of them are. But the best one is a Vanguard AR. And maybe even the second best one. And this trend is only going to continue. And for the rest of the existence of Warzone 1, Vanguard assault rifles will be the best assault rifles. There's not going to be another meta. And if there is, it won't be for very long, where a Cold War AR or a MW AR is going to be the best long-range option in the game. It's just never going to be the case again. And if it is, it'll be because like a new Cold War AR got added, and then they'll nerf it pretty quick. Because they want people to start using these Vanguard guns, I think. And as they should have done longer ago than they have. So this is cool. And I like it. I like that people are not using old guns as much anymore because they're no longer the best option. So that's a good thing for sure. Next here, real quick. I like Serpentine, the new perk. So there is some confusion on how exactly it works. So Tanner was telling me about a tweet he saw where it's like, if you're shooting someone who has Serpentine, but they still have plates, then you as the shooter will not see the snake icon until you break their plates. So this implies that 20% damage reduction only works on flesh damage, not on plates. So that could mean a number of things. Number one, it could always be 20% and it's just a UI bug, and the snake should be showing at all times, but it isn't. Number two, it is actually flesh damage only. And also, if it is flesh damage only, another question I have, if you guys didn't know this, now you will. If I shoot Tanner and he's full plates and I shoot him with one BAR bullet in the chest, he's going to take, let's say he's going to take 50 damage. What that's actually going to look like is he's going to take like 45 plate damage and then 5 body damage. So even though he still has plates, you are taking body damage when you get shot. You don't just, it's not like 100% of the damage goes to plates and then 100% goes to your health. It's like it's mostly plates and then like a little bit of health damage. So then my question was, if Serpentine's only for flesh damage, does that include the little bit of flesh damage you take when you are plated and taking damage? I don't know. So I have a lot of questions, and there still is confusion on how Serpentine works. And it's also one of those things that's going to be very hard to test.
Well, that also wouldn't matter. If you're taking 2 damage, having Serpentine 20% reduction is literally doing nothing in terms of less shots to kill. Another thing
I was thinking too, yeah. I just thought of that, which you're right. It depends on how much flesh damage you take when you have plates.
And
But if it is like 10 or if it's like 5 or less, then yeah, it literally doesn't matter at all.
It's like very, very small, and I don't think it even always does. I don't think you always take health damage when you get shot. It's weird. If it is, it's like, I mean, it's like almost nothing, yeah. It's like under 5 at the absolute most per bullet. It's probably more like 1 or 2.
Yeah. So if Serpentine always gives you 20% damage reduction, it's really good. If it only gives you 20% damage reduction on your health, that's still not bad. Because you have 150 health now, not just 100. That's going to equate to a fair amount more shots to kill you in general, probably. I don't know, but that's kind of what it seems like intuitively to me. But this is one of those things that's just going to need a lot more testing. And if it were the case that Serpentine only made you take 1 extra shot to kill when you're sprinting, then it's like, probably not worth it. But if it's like 2, then it is probably worth it. So I don't know. I don't know where I stand on that, but I like the idea of Serpentine.
Well,
and I'll also say this. It doesn't feel as strong as it sounds, because 20% less damage while sprinting sounds really strong. It doesn't feel when you're playing with Serpentine as strong as it sounds, but it does feel like it makes you tankier for the little time that I've used it. And I will also add, since I've been using Serpentine, I've been hit by Combat Scout once. Like, no one uses Combat Scout or something?
Yeah, I'm not sure
I don't know what's going on there. So if no one's using Combat Scout, then I'm definitely going to keep running Serpentine, because it's literally just strictly better than Cold-Blooded, unless people are using Combat Scout. So I've been pleased with how few people are running Combat Scout for some crazy fucking reason. Run Combat Scout. And in that case, I'm definitely going to keep running Serpentine. But even if everyone is using Combat Scout, I'm still going to like test it more and keep my eye on the data nerds and tell me what they think. But I like the idea of Serpentine. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not, because even, so if it does nothing to plate damage, which, yeah, it seems like that's what it's doing, then that's only a potential of 30 health that you would essentially suck up. And that's if you're sprinting the whole 150 health too. So realistically, I think what you're saying is right. I think at the most this would only equate to maybe 1 extra shot to kill if you're sprinting during that. So all in all,
that's a good way to look at it.
If it's working on plates, then Serpentine's good. If it's not working on plates, which that's how it seems, then it's not a very good perk. Which should work on plates, because it literally just says reduces incoming damage by 20%. Correct. Say base health then or something. So I don't know if it's either bugged how it is currently, or people are just, no one's even tested it. They're just judging like from when they actually shoot people. No one's gone in a private lobby and tested it. I've looked right before the pod to see if anyone's done it. No one's tried that yet. Yeah. So yeah, we don't know exactly how it works. But it doesn't seem like it's the best. But yeah, we haven't been seeing too many people with Combat Scout when we were playing, which is weird.
Are you still running it?
I was, yeah, because I still wasn't getting hit by Combat Scout. That was the only reason.
Exactly. You might as well if you're not getting hit by Combat Scout.
Yeah.
Kind of where I'm at. Or Quick Fix might be better, which you tried also, right?
Yeah, Quick Fix isn't really worth a slot on Caldera. Rebirth still, absolutely. I'd take Quick Fix over Serpentine for sure, but Caldera, nah.
Yeah. So, next point here, cheaper buybacks. This is just good. I don't really have anything else to say. I mean, they're not so cheap that there's like too many people. Exactly. Which we'll perhaps get more into. But going from 4K to 3K is not that game breaking, and it just makes it a little bit easier to like keep playing the game, like they said. I think of all of the playtime pillar adjustments they made, this is the most sensible one. I'm not really sure how I feel about the gulag tokens or the redeploy tokens, but the cheaper buybacks, I think, is the most sensible of the changes in that vein that they've made, and it's good. Because it's not like it's $100 to buy people back. It's still 3K. It's still something, but it's a little less, and I like it. I think it's fine.
Yeah, the cheaper buybacks and the having more money when you die. I like those changes. Those would have been enough without them adding in the gulag redeploy shit, I think.
Yeah, they did a lot at once.
Once. Yeah, kind of went real hard at once.
Yeah. So, next on the quality of life topic. Is the slide bug actually fixed? I didn't get it. But I'm also so used to not sliding down hills that I don't know. Have you encountered the slide bug? Have you seen anything about this?
No, I haven't encountered it.
Slide bug may be actually fixed finally. Took 3.5 years. But
well, it's been fixed before, and then it would come back up like a week later, the next patch or something. So
I didn't know that.
It'll be back at some point for sure. Yeah. Oh, it's part of the game now.
It'll be back.
It's like the stim bug. The stim glitch will be back at some point in Warzone history.
Yeah, true.
They all come back.
Point. It's in the code. Yeah.
It's there. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's whatever. For now, it's good if it is fixed, which it seems to be. Because I think I would have heard people bitching if it wasn't fixed. So that's great, finally. And I can't wait for that to come back, and we will keep you guys posted. And they actually moved the goddamn kill streak banner. Now, they didn't take my recommendation. They didn't move it way above the reticle. They moved it below instead. I think they actually made the better decision, to be honest. I think the banner where it is now, which is on like the lower third of your screen vertically, but still completely horizontal, is probably better than the upper third, like I was recommending.
Oh, it's a lot better, yeah.
So good job for them. It all would have been better than where it used to be clear. But now it's in like an actually good spot, and finally. And you're welcome, Raven, for helping you fix your fucking game. Glad you guys listen. Patreon.com/thedropshot. Give us money. We're consultants. What are your thoughts, Tanner?
It's crazy now to think about it. Now how so many people have horrible centering and they run around looking at the ground. Think of how bad that airstrike banner has been for the last 2 years for those people. I mean, that would show up right in the middle of where people would be. Yeah, with people with bad centering. So yeah, putting it down low is, I mean, so much smarter. Yeah, because it's like your gun's already blocking it, especially if you're ADS. You're not going to see anything below anyways. So the airstrike banner changes nothing.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'd put that down there too. So yeah, I'm actually shocked and excited that they changed that.
I feel like they have to listen to the podcast to have done that, right?
Well, I know, because this has been an issue for 2 years. I don't...
Exactly.
It's weird.
Exactly. Someone at Raven listens, dude.
And it's like, people have stopped complaining about it, and we are the only ones still complaining. It's like, people just like... I don't know, man.
Stockholm Syndrome, man. Oh, at least my game, at least when I drive a RV
well,
into
also
a
COD
wall,
partners
the whole
can't
lobby
complain.
Doesn't crash. I guess it's fine that I can't slide my character, or that I can't see or hear anything when a precision gets called. I guess it's fine. At least the game works. Fucking simps, dude. Or that's illegal to say.
Yeah,
whatever.
That is very
anyway,
illegal. That's borderline.
So good job,
theft,
Raven.
brother.
Raven, keep listening, please. Holy fuck, man. But good on. Hey, real talk. Kudos for you for making an intern take 2 minutes to fix this thing that's been in the game for 3 years. Unironically, good job. Finally, should have been done sooner, but at least it's done. So I'll take it.
Really nice, really nice.
Tanner, what do we have next?
So this is something So the first day of the patch, I feel like this happens with every update, actually. There was a lot of gulag tokens. Every chest I would open would have one. I really think they change things the first day of patches. Items that are new, and then like literally a day or two later, they nerf the spawn rate. Because it's like they want people to try them more and like see them a lot the first day. Because the last times I played, I never saw an extraction token, but I found 2 in one game the first time I played. So not really finding a whole lot of that, so I don't know if I've just been getting unlucky, but this is kind of good and kind of bad. They're annoying because it gives everyone a chance to respawn when that person essentially doesn't deserve to respawn. Cool. I opened a chest, got a redeployed token, and now I get to come back. No, that person should just be dead. Just be dead. But this could now end up being an issue if that's the case, since they dropped the starting player count to 120. This means people aren't finding those redeploy tokens. Lobbies are going to be dying out insanely fast, which also leads to not a fun play experience. So, and on that, like I don't know how I like this 120 player thing yet. This entire patch really just changed the pace of Caldera from like pretty exciting early game, pretty crazy mid game, and then a slow late game with like not that many people left typically, to now a boring dog shit starting game. We landed Capital. There was not one other team within 500 meters of us, and Capital was in the middle of the circle. So boring early game to like an exciting mid game, and then a pretty crazy end game. So as of now, I'm like super neutral on that aspect, and I don't know how I feel about the 120 player. If I was forced to pick, I would say so far I think this is worse than the standard 150 we were at before, but it's too dependent on like these tokens and coming back. It's like, yeah, I know you can buy people back for cheaper and you retain more money, but those tokens were a big part also of people coming back, because that happened to us late game. We had killed people and they literally just dropped on us after. So if those tokens are not spawning at a high rate, then you're going to be left with dead late game. So then a boring early game and a dead late game is just like not a fun battle royale experience.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know either. I haven't played enough to tell you how I like this player count. You'd have to play a lot of games, I think, to kind of get a sense for the player count question. But if it is too few people, I'm not that worried about it, because they explicitly said, this is one of the things we're going to like keep iterating on if we need to. Like we're starting with 120. We're going to fuck around and find out. And then if we need to like change it more, we will. And I actually believe them in this case. Yeah. I think if people are complaining that the games are too slow and boring, they'll make it 130 or 140 or whatever. So like maybe this is too slow, maybe not. I don't know yet. But if the consensus becomes that it is too slow, I think they'll change it pretty quick. And I have faith that they would do that. Yeah.
Because the other issue with 120 is by the time you're actually in the plane and people have crashed and their consoles have exploded, it's usually like 113, 114 at the most. Yeah. So
yeah, that's another
maybe their goal was actually to do 110, 115, and that's why they set it to 120, but
they definitely think about that.
If they were trying to get 120, then I think they need to change it to 130. I think 130 would be a good thing to try, but I would still like to try this for like, another week or two before they mess with it some more. I don't think they'll mess with it too quickly. I think they'll let it play out for a couple weeks and we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree. This next point is interesting, Tanner.
Yeah, so they increased the downed movement speed, and this is actually, you wouldn't think it's too important, but this is actually really nice on Caldera, especially because you get down so often in the middle of nowhere, all there is trees to hide behind. This gives you a really good chance of staying alive and getting yourself off, self-res, not getting yourself off.
Get me off.
Popping your self-res, or getting revived by a teammate. So that's something little, but that's actually really nice. So I wonder if they're changing private lobbies. Remember in private lobbies you can like barely move. It's like you're glued to the ground.
Oh my god, good question.
But yeah, so this is a small change, but really nice actually when you're down, especially on Caldera.
This is one of the things where it's like, if you're the guy that gets down, this is great. If you're the guy who's doing 4v4 and everyone has self-res, and now you can move, and now you can like loot a speed boost while you're downed and move faster than King Kong jumping across Caldera, then maybe it's not great, because then like it just shit lasts forever. With how much more prevalent self-reses are and will continue to be, because think about it. You can now loot self-res, first of all. There's more money. You keep more money when you die. You respawn more often. Buybacks cost less. There's just going to be more money available to buy self-res, in addition to the fact that they can be looted. And now when you get downed, you're going to be harder to kill because you can move faster. You're just gonna have to thirst people like in situations where you otherwise wouldn't want to a lot more now, I think. This is obviously more of an issue potentially in quads than duos or solos, but it is something. I haven't encountered this. I haven't been mad that people move too fast when they're down. Hasn't been a problem for me yet, but I can imagine a case where that increase to down movement speed makes gunfights a lot more protracted than they used to be, and it keeps people alive who just shouldn't be alive more often, potentially. I don't know if that's the case, but it's a concern I have. I haven't encountered that yet, but it is a concern I have. But on the other hand, like you said in our last episode, with how little cover there is on Caldera, you also do kind of need increased down movement speed.
Yeah.
Because if you get down in the open and you crawl as slow as you used to, like you're Omega fucked.
Yeah.
So like having more movement speed to like get behind the tree or the rock is like kind of necessary on this map. So it goes both ways. I don't know, but it's just kind of a flag I want to plant, as Samuel Harris would say, as something to kind of keep in mind. Get those thirsts.
Got it. Yeah, the thing is with that though is like, yeah, you gotta thirst like if you can, but the instances I'm thinking of when I can move safe and try to self-res, like those are all long range gunfights. The person's not gonna be able
never
to
thirsting anyway.
thirst anyways. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, you could be right.
But
could be right.
We'll see. So my next thing here is the new teammate HUD is really, really nice, actually. It's nice seeing what my teammates have. Again, we already kind of talked about it on Wednesday. I mean, if I see we have no armor plates, I don't ask my dumb shit teammates. I say, here you go. I have an armor box. Here it is. Grab your plates. It's nice going into fights, seeing what streaks my teammates have, seeing if we have gas mask, if we can make certain plays. It's all really good. There's absolutely nothing to complain about there. The HUD's super clean, easier to read now.
Correct.
I don't have to do quick maths, which is always good. That's one of the best quality of life changes they've made, I think. This is another one of those things that like we didn't exactly. Some people had been asking for it. It wasn't like too widespread though that this wasn't a really sought after thing.
It's no FOV slider.
That's what I was about to bring up. It's no FOV slider that everyone's been begging about, but select few have been talking about it, and we did get it, and it's really nice to have, and I love having this now.
Yeah, this is all good. It's just good. There's literally no downside to it. It's fantastic. The only downside you could maybe think of is like, oh, more of my screen is a UI now. Okay, but no one's actually saying that, and they shouldn't be. It's fine. It looks good. It's more information. This is just good. The only complaint I have about it is that it's very difficult to tell how many plates people have. So if you have like one plate, it'll show the plate icon and then a white number 1 on top of the very light gray plate, which is indistinguishable from a white number 2 or 3. It's kind of hard to see. Now, by the way, pro tip, if the number on top of the plate icon is yellow, that means that person is full plates. So if it's a plate icon with a yellow number, they have 5 plates. If it's a satchel icon with a yellow number, they have 8 plates. So there's a pro tip for you. But if the number is white, good luck. You don't know, I don't know, no one knows how many plates
it's
they
so
have.
small.
It's impossible to see. They can, but I feel like that's a pretty easy change. And they'll probably, if they listen to this podcast, hey, here's another easy project you guys could do in 2 minutes. Make the goddamn number look better. Make it green. Make the number green and then make it yellow if it's full. That would be fine. But right now it's simply too hard to read.
Yeah.
But still way better than before, obviously, because there was no number at all. So this is good. Yeah. Okay, Tanner, what is this next one?
Gulag and the ground loot change is definitely better. Because also, I think that was kind of one of the things we didn't talk about a whole lot in the last episode. But the ground loot guns, basically, they got more attachments. So, like, a green ground loot gun now has, I think 2 more attachments on it than they did before. One more attachment at least.
One more attachment, yeah.
Yeah.
Than green used to. So I think it went from, like, 3 to 4.
Yeah, so all of the ground loot, besides them changing some of it up, there's a lot of the same shit ground loot in there still, but they did change some of it up and add new guns.
A lot of which was just adding extended mags. So like on a lot of these green ARs and subs, the extra attachment that all of those got, for a lot of them, that extra attachment was an extended mag, which is really good, especially with the health change.
Yeah.
That's been nice.
Yeah, so the ground loot change has actually been nice. The guns feel a lot better. Gulag guns have been better, although there's still some shit ones in there. There's always going to be shit ones, but it's definitely less than it was. Like, I'm still getting MG42s. It's like, really? Why? And I saw Jake got the Itcher burst a couple times. Again, why?
No.
Why?
No.
Why?
No.
Just stop.
Make it
I get
stop,
you
man.
buffed it and you want people to use a burst gun. Just stop. The gunsmith gurus, they don't know what they're doing, man. I hate to break it to you, Raven. The gunsmith gurus have lost their minds. Don't put the Itcher burst in it. Overall, though, definitely they're a lot better. A lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I've only been to the Gulag like once, and it's because you guys baited me. Normally I don't ever go to the Gulag because I just win. But yeah, I haven't not gotten a full auto gun yet. No more top break. Cool. No akimbo pistols. Cool. I'll take it. I'm not that mad. The Gulag is overall better than it used to be.
Yeah.
And finally, so that's good for sure. And then my last point here on the good is the radar jammer, the new field upgrade. I like this a lot. It's been getting more utility than I thought it would, and I've seen people using it. Like I've been watching a lot of Iron lately, and he's used it to deprive people of streaking him, and he has been cucked by it when he got a down with a sniper. It was actually a cool play. He was on the top of he was on a roof, and there was some other guy, some other team, maybe 70 meters away, and he headshots the dude, and then he gets out his precision airstrike binoculars, and then that team puts down a radar jammer like right at the time he got downed, and then Iron couldn't call in the precision airstrike on it, and then that guy was able to get rezzed. And I was like, that's fucking cool. It's a field upgrade that is good. It has utility. It can be useful in more situations than just that example, but there's an example. But it's not like overpowered or game breaking. It doesn't last that long. It's not that bad of a scramble. It's not that big of a deal, but it has some utility. It's like useful. This is how field upgrades should be, and I'd like it. It's a new field upgrade that you can use in situations to help you. It's not a PDS that you'll never use. It's not nebula rounds that are bugged. It's just fine. Like a trophy. Like a trophy is the same tier. It's like, it's useful when you want it. Doesn't break the game. No one's mad that you lost to a trophy system. If you are, then there are a lot of other things you should be mad about before that. And it's good. And it's cool. And it's like a new thing that like has utility but doesn't break the game. I'm a big fan of it.
So I guess they're not great on Rebirth, and Beanox has already confirmed they're nerfing it. The team is aware of that. We're working on a fix to improve the player experiments regarding the radius, because it's the same size as it is on Caldera, so on Rebirth that's like massive. And what I talked about on Wednesday, about it not being big and it saying 125, that was definitely a UI bug that I had when I planted it on the mini map, because the first time I saw one in game, I'm like, oh yeah, this thing is massive on the map and the mini map. So mine was bugged before. I mean, it scrambles almost the entire mini map area, and when I planted it, it showed about a 10-foot circle. So that was bugged. It is a pretty big zone, and it's not like, say, in Cold War, where when you would throw down like a jammer, it would all be fuzzy and like literally nothing would show up. It's just like it's like it has a bad signal in that area of the map that you're looking at. So you can, I think, still kind of see things, but they're not accurate and they don't show as long. Yeah, they're all screwed up.
You'll still see red dots.
Yeah.
But you won't be able to discern where they are coming from.
Exactly. Which is better than, a final circle, 5 people having those down and nothing on the minimap showing up if it was like a Cold War jammer. So
exactly.
I think they're pretty well balanced and they are a cool addition. Yeah, another one of those things too that no one asked for, no one thought of, and they added it to the game, and it's a good little change that we have.
It's cute. Yeah, it's cool.
Because I actually did actually use it in an instance. So you're like, oh, we're pushing in here. We're going to be in this area. I'm going to drop one of these right now. Why not?
Exactly. Yeah. It's one of those things like it stands in opposition to so many things Warzone has added to the game that no one cares about. No one gives a fuck about. Devs waste all this time designing it for nothing. And this is not one of those things, which makes me happy. So this is cool. Yeah, I'm a fan. Now, onto the bad. So again, in no particular order, our bad first impressions of Season 3 Reloaded. Yeah, Tanner, great first point. Just an excellent one to start us off with.
Yeah, so the stim nerf has created a very annoying snapshot meta. So stims, when they released the patch notes, we read the patch notes, it was bugged. You essentially couldn't slide at all with them. So they've gone back and fixed that now. So what stims actually do compared to how they were 1 week ago is you slide slower, you slide not as far, and it still does not regen health once you start taking damage. So they were hit pretty hard, but they're better than the day the patch came out when they were bugged. So people are back to using them, some people. I don't know if it's enough to keep people off of snapshots. So for me personally, stims are not good enough anymore to run over the current state of snapshots with restock.
Caldera.
So it was kind of interesting, actually, because I saw JGod, of all people, kind of like talking on Twitter with people that were saying like, oh, snapshots are so annoying and like they need to be balanced. And he was saying, no, they don't need to be balanced. Snapshots are fine. Do you not want anyone to use them? And I'm like, what? And then he like brought up how
a hot take. That's a spicy red hot take.
He like brought up how the pick rate of them is really low and not a lot of people use them anyways. So that makes sense. But in our lobbies, every quad we fight is only using snaps, and we get snapped 8 times actually. So I think
this. How does he have data on the pick rate already too?
Warzone ranked updates daily.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I think like almost like hour, or not like hourly. I think every few hours it updates or something. I'm not sure, but it's okay. At least like daily. So, yeah, because I think it was a few percent higher than what it was. We should actually check now because he said that yesterday. It's probably even more. But yeah, so I get that. That kind of makes sense because I'm sure in like lower KD lobbies, it's everyone still using like Heartbeat, so they're not using them. But in like the lobbies we play in, which is like typically the upper lobbies. Higher than average at least. There's not a whole lot of people using stims anymore. It is all snapshots, and it is fucking frustrating when you're playing quads and you're fighting a team of 4 and all 4 of them are using snaps. Pretty annoying. Pretty damn annoying. If stims were as good as they still were, snaps they would still be as good as they are now, but less people would be running them. But now in our lobbies, every fucking person you come across is running snaps. I'm absolutely running snaps. You're running snaps.
I'm snapped up. I
don't get running stims at this point. I don't think they're good enough to even use. Because it's like, what's the point? What did you used to do? You get shot at, you pop a stim so you could slide away really fast and start healing through all the shots. What do they do now? Neither of those things. I can barely slide away, and it's also not going to regen because I'm getting hit. So it just doesn't even matter. So it's very annoying. And I do not like this meta. This is, I think, worse than the stim meta because it's just giving people... If you think Combat Scout is annoying, which a lot of people do, then you should not like the snapshot meta at all, and you should not defend the snapshot meta at all. So it's very fucking frustrating. I think they need to go back to... snapshots restocking at like a minute, 50 seconds to do whatever stims are, because at 25 seconds this is entirely too much. Even that may not even fix it, because by the time you throw your 2 snaps in a gunfight, you may get a third off before your gunfight's over and like you've killed the quad or whatever, but even then 2 is already a lot. So honestly, even making it 50 seconds, 60 seconds, by the time you get into a gunfight again, you're probably going to have 2 snaps at that point. And then that team you're fighting is going to not even know that you just blew your load and you already have them again. It's just, I don't even know if that would be enough, really, the more I think about it.
I think it would, because like I remember when we were playing quads and we went to the roof of a building in factory. We all were running snapshots. So was the other team of 4. And I threw a snap probably 5 or 6 times in that one gunfight. So if it was a 50-second respawn rate, I would have instead only thrown 2 or 3 in that time. So I think that's at least a fine place to start, is make the regen 50 seconds and then kind of go from there. I think that would mostly be okay. You would definitely have snaps back up before you get into your next team fight, but I think that's fine. That's why you run restock. I think that would be okay. But being able to throw 4 or 5 snapshots in one team fight is absurd. Per person, by the way. So this was me who threw 4 or 5 snaps in one gunfight. Like, that's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think starting with 50 seconds would be good. But yeah, the stim nerf is bad for, as you said, 2 reasons. Number 1, can't use stims anymore because they're dog shit. Number 2, everyone has now moved to snaps. So I don't know. I mean, JGod's looking at the data, and that's great and good for you. But also 90% of people use tracker. So I don't care what the data says. I care about what my lobbies are like. And in these higher KD lobbies, people be snapping, dude. They stay snapping. And that is not fun and exciting. It makes team fights a fucking joke. It's not even that it's like unfair, because like I'm using them too. But now just everyone's like permanently like wall hacked. It's dumb. It's just it's a clown fiesta. It's a joke. It doesn't feel like a first person shooter game. It just feels like some like shitty MMO where like everyone's cheesing max to the max and then like throwing grenades at red outlines through fucking doorways. It's stupid. It's dumb. It's cheesy and clown like, and that's why I don't like it at all. It's dumb. So I also, on the other side of this, the stim nerf itself has been real sad for me. I've probably died 3 or 4 times in Caldera since I didn't have pre-nerf stims on me that I would have not died in if I had pre-nerf stims. Now, does that mean stims should go back to their pre-nerf state? No, they were too good. They were overpowered. But I would like them to be able to bail me out sometimes. That's why you run a tactical. And I, again, would like to say, whatever the movement speed is for stims now, keep that. And then instead of damage interrupting a regen, it should be like 50 damage plus interrupts the regen. I think that would be a fair compromise to make stims good and worth using again, but not necessarily better than snaps. It'll still depend on your playstyle, which tactically you want. And it wouldn't be overpowered, because you're still not going to just run through an open field like you're in a Gone with the Wind play on Broadway and just take infinite bullets and not die.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a good compromise. Is it possible for them to code in a 50 damage clamp where it's like you'll keep healing until you take 50 damage while stim is active? I actually don't even know if that's possible to code.
Oh, it's for sure possible. It's just if it works not being bugged constantly, that's the real question. They could do it.
Exactly. So if they could do that, I think that would be the way to go. And then, hey, they're in a real playful testing mood. Oh, we're going to try 120. If it's not enough, we'll try 130. Keep that energy for everything in your game, including this.
Yeah.
Try it. Try a 50 damage clamp. If stims are too overpowered, make it 30 damage. So it's like you can eat 1 bullet, but no more than 1 bullet. That would be fine. It would have to be like 35 probably. These would be better, but I think there is a way to make stims worth using and not overpowered, and we are not there. Stims are dog shit. And that's unfortunate.
Yeah. I know,
especially on a map this open where you really need to be able to move quickly and tank bullets when there's no cover, because that happens a lot.
I know Jake was still using them and liking them, but I don't know if he's already changed his mind. I don't know. I don't think they're good enough at this point to make it worthwhile when snaps are as good as they are. I agree, they don't help me getting away from a gunfight or even pushing into one, really. So they don't have a ton of valuable utility anymore.
Yeah, they really don't have much utility.
Mm-mm.
I mean, the health is only going to matter. I mean, the health would matter like if you're 1v2ing, you peek down one guy, you're one shot, his teammate's pushing you, but you can get behind the rock and you have like 2 seconds to heal. Then a stim is really good. But how often does this happen?
Yeah, I know. It's not, you can't put yourself in that situation too often, really.
Exactly. So snaps are just too good in comparison. So, yeah.
My next point here, the least surprising thing we'll ever talk about. Footstep audio is not better at all. At least on Caldera, I haven't tried Rebirth. Maybe it technically is, but of course I don't notice it. I sure as fuck don't. As annoying as this is, it's just, this is the least surprising patch I've ever read in Warzone history that how did they word it? They said they increased the... They used a word for it. Reprioritization. Yep. That's what they said it did. I don't know. I don't notice it. It's shocking. Still, I mean, that's actually, there's nothing else to say on it. It's not any better. There you go.
Here's what I would say. I'm super surprised that we told you the footstep audio is never going to be good in Warzone. And then they said they patched the footstep audio and then it's still not good in Warzone. Wow. I'm shocked.
Yep.
I'm amazed. I'm appalled. And serious note, and we called it, and oracles.
Yep.
So I mean, this is the least surprising thing ever. I stand by what I said last time. If all they did was make footsteps higher priority than the announcer, that does almost nothing. And they need to make it a higher priority than literally every other sound in the game. And then maybe it's going to be good enough. But until they do that, the reprioritization doesn't matter because it's been scarcely reprioritized at all. Because the announcer is very often not the reason I don't hear footsteps. So I don't know why they would only put it above that. There's a lot more things that happen more often that disallow me from hearing footsteps than the announcer.
Yeah, and I had on Wednesday I had said, I think the gulag sounds may actually be better. That was just cap. They're not. So they definitely didn't raise the footstep volume whatsoever. Because when there's no noise going on in the gulag, I still don't hear the footsteps. So that they didn't solve the issue. Shocking. It never will be. It's just crazy that people were posting those clips like footstep audio is finally fixed, and it was a guy running with zero sound in the background, 10 feet in front of him. These kids are nuts, man.
And we said that too, by the way, when we were like, I think I can hear footsteps better in the gulag. We both made it very clear this could be just cope and us hoping and placebo, and it was. That's not surprising.
Yeah, we got fucked.
But we kind of knew. That's why we said that. So yeah, next, I'm just going to read this whole thing I've written here. Quote, my own quote. I just wrote these. The stupid fucking fast travel bunkers are omega cringe and are only going to get even worse as people get familiar with them and start exploiting them to third party me and fuck my ass. End quote. And true. We've already had it happen once where we got third-partied by some team that took a fast travel bunker and killed us all, whom we could not have known was there unless we had a UAV popped and we got like a sweep while they were still underground. Not the best out, though. They need to do something about this. Ideally, what they would do is take out the fast travel system. But if they're not going to do that, there needs to be some kind of audio cue if we didn't have enough, or better yet, a visual cue. Actually, we should do that. Like a fucking banner where the kill streak is that says like, fast travel near you has been used. You know how when people are completing a recon contract, there's a big yellow light in the sky?
Yeah.
We could do something like that, like a big green light in the sky on a fast travel bunker that someone has just spawned in. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic. But something needs to indicate to people around that there's now some guy in this bunker. Because third parties are going to happen way too often. Once people get more familiar with these bunkers, more comfortable using them, more knowledgeable about how they work and where they all are, and once they start realizing how good they are at getting third parties, hey, I just did a big game bounty. I get an advanced UAV. I see 90 people at Beachhead. I'm right by a fast travel bunker in Capital. On my way, baby. And then you already know where they are. You come out of the bunker. I mean, like Satan's spawn, you crawl out of the ground and just obliterate everyone. And they couldn't have known you were coming. They couldn't have known.
Yeah.
And it's done. And this is in addition to balloons, which is already introduced a big third party problem because people can just travel too far too quickly and fuck your ass. And there's no outplay potential because you couldn't have known they were coming. And with the parachutes, it's because there's no visual or audio cue, and you might hear them parachuting, but it's going to be way too late by the time they're in range to hear them, and then you die. And a UAV doesn't save you. And then the same is going to be the case for the fast travel bunkers. Will they ever add some kind of indication or cue that someone has taken the bunker? No. This will just be a problem, and it's only going to get worse as people get more familiar with it. So start acquainting yourselves with fast travel bunkers. Be the third partiers. Don't be the third party. Get the fuck away from them unless you're going there explicitly to take it to fuck someone else's ass. But be really careful when you're even remotely close to one.
Yeah. I have nothing to add. I've said it. Fast travels don't belong in a BR. I don't care. That's it.
In addition to it feeling out of place and gimmicky.
Completely out of place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In addition to that.
Yeah.
Correct.
They're just dumb.
They're super dumb. Next, Tanner.
The new high value loot areas don't exist. Has anyone seen one?
High value loot areas.
They were in the patch notes. No one's been talking about it yet, which is weird. This is one of the things I was most excited for about this update. The high value loot areas. They don't exist. Raven hasn't mentioned it. Maybe they put on their Trello board they're not working. I haven't seen anything. I haven't looked at that. But yeah, I don't know why no one's talking about this. I was really excited for these high value loot areas. I thought it would introduce a lot of people fighting in probably different POIs that weren't usually too hot. It's probably a high risk, high reward area, high value loot. Real excited they're not in the game. So when those do get in the game, that will be a very good thing, but they were in the patch notes, they don't exist. So either the UI's bugged and they just don't show up and there are high value loot areas, or they're just not in the game at all. I don't know which one of those two things it is. Probably just not in the game.
It's probably just not in the game. If they are in the game, then they happen so fucking rarely that they might as well not be in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So the bad point here is either they don't spawn enough and they need to increase the rate at which these things happen, or they're not in the game at all, so add them.
Yeah.
This is a minor bad point, but it is a bad point. I want them because it's a good idea and I'd like them to actually implement it. Thanks. But I agree. Yeah. So nothing more to say on that. And then last bad point for me, the speed boost is just stupid. It's dumb. It doesn't offer anything. It feels omega out of place. And it finally happened. Took a day, by the way. Took not even a day. On day one, it happened to Jake. We landed on some contract or whatever. Another team landed with us. We were all looking for guns. Some guy who was not on our team opened a box. Guess what he got? A gun and speed boost. And then he just absolutely spun circles around Jake with a 1911.
Yeah.
Just like waddling around trying to figure things out. While this guy has a speed boost, slide canceling with a ground loot gun. Just like as if the gun wasn't enough to seal the deal. He got speed boost too, and he won that gunfight purely based on RNG because of the speed boost. Is this that big of a deal? No, because outside of that scenario, you're not really going to lose a gunfight to a speed boost most of the time. It's going to be very rare outside of like when you first drop in. But even outside of that scenario, they don't add anything to the game. And all they do is detract from my experience because it is really out of place and feels really stupid. Is it fun to slide for 2 football fields? Yes. But it still feels cheesy and ridiculous and like a clown fiesta. I'm just sliding for acres, throwing snapshots every second, and calling this a battle royale. Suck my cock and balls.
Well, it's like half the time you pick them up anyways, it doesn't matter. You're just in an area where you're looting.
Exactly.
So it's like,
it's stupid.
Cool, I accidentally picked it up because I just grab everything that comes out of the chest and then there's no one even around me. So it's like, okay, I don't know. But I guess that's better than if you could pop them. I don't know. I don't really have an issue with them, honestly. They're the biggest thing when it comes to stuff like that, and this is the same issue with the stim slide, is you get 0 footstep audio. Because when people are moving that fast, the audio just doesn't work. And when they slide, there's no audio to be made. So that's the other thing. I noticed that happen in one of my kill cams. Someone slid by me. There was no sound ever. And I was like, oh, fuck, this guy must have had dead silence. And no, it was because he had a speed boost active. And when he slid, you slide 20 feet, and that makes 0 audio whatsoever. So sick audio reprioritization. Nice, man. Doesn't matter. Someone just slides up on you. And yeah, there's no, I don't know. There's not much you can do. They're very fun to use. Another frustrating thing to die to, though. But more than anything, it just, kind of feels out of place for me.
Yeah. I just prefer they don't be in the game, honestly. I don't know. But it's not that big of a deal. I agree with you. So now we're going to get into like neutral, kind of undecided, or like meh, or don't care. These are just kind of like, we'll call it neutral observations or to be determined observations, in no particular order. So I guess we already kind of talked about the first one. What is this one, Tanner?
I feel like they nerfed the spawn rate of perks. I don't know if you guys have noticed less, but I'm seeing less of them. They added
I've seen 1 in 4 hours.
5 or 6 new perks, I believe, to ground loot. I don't care about this too much either way. It's just like they'll constantly adjust spawn rates of items like this and not put it in the patch notes, which, not the biggest deal, but I do think they nerfed the spawn rate of perks. You guys let us know, but I'm like, same thing. I haven't played a ton since this update came out yet, unfortunately. I've been wanting to, but I have not found many perks at all. I think, I'm with you, like 2 total, maybe 3, whereas like before I could find 3 in one game fairly often, probably more often than not. So seems to be they nerfed those quite a bit. Maybe those are in the new high value loot areas more, and since we don't have high value loot areas, maybe it's bugged and that's why there's less on the map or something.
If that's their intention, that's kind of a good change because it makes going to those areas way more valuable.
That would make a lot of sense. Maybe that'd
be pretty cool. Maybe that's a good theory. I think you might be right. But I am seeing fewer perks than I once did, and I am also fine with it. I'm totally apathetic on this topic. If I'm seeing a lot of perks, that means everyone else is too, so it's kind of a wash. And none of the lootable perks, again, are really goated with the sauce. Although, Tempered's really good. Restock's also really good. So maybe they are pretty fucking good, I guess. But, like, you can't loot Combat Scout or something. I don't know. I just don't think lootable perks are as big as a deal as I had made it out to be. I think that's the ultimate thing that I would have to say. So whether they're spawning a lot or not that often, I don't really care. But I do agree that I'm seeing them way less than I used to, which is fine.
Yeah, and it's still they redid all this HUD, which was great changes, but of course they still haven't put on the most important thing in my opinion, which is I still don't know what perks I have equipped. I don't know what perks I've picked up. That's still not on the HUD.
Cringe.
Which I would rather have that than what all of my teammates' stats are, actually. Because I know you guys say we'll just look at what you do and you pick it up. Hey, I move quick. I open up a box. I grab something. I don't even notice it's a perk until after I'm grabbing. And by that point, I'm like, fuck, I don't even know what that was. Unless it's something obvious. Tempered, I'll know right away. High alert, I'll know at a time.
You'll never know.
Oh, never. Yeah.
You'll
Kill
just never
chain,
know.
you'll never know. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So that
There
needs
does
to
need
be
to be
in
a
like
UI
ASAP.
version.
That could be something that's going to take them longer and they will implement. I would think they would. I would imagine, but that would probably take a little bit longer because they did say all these HUD changes. They've been working on this for months. They've been quietly working on it for months. So hopefully we get that at a point. That'll be nice to have. I would love to have that in now.
Yeah, let me also add, by the way, the new UI HUD shit, it's not bugged. Like, all the information I've seen has always been accurate. Like, I've never seen that Tanner has a gas mask when he doesn't actually, or vice versa. And, like, the plate count is correct, even though I can't read it. So maybe it's not, but it seems to be. So that's good. So, like, kudos to them. It's not a buggy fucking disaster like I would expect anything to be. So that's cool. But, yeah, there does need to be a UI indicator of when you see fucking perks.
That's funny. It is kind of bugged actually, and I put that down here, but then it wasn't important. Well, one, the radar jammer thing that I talked about, that's absolutely bugged. It's showing the different size. Yeah. And then the only other thing, again, doesn't matter, but it was a little bug I noticed, is that one game you lagged out, it was still counting your money. So it always said Jake and I had more team money than we had because you lagged out. Again, not important, but just pay attention to those things because you may be seeing more UI bugs for these next few weeks since that's a new, pretty big introduction we've seen to the game. So
yeah. It's been acceptably buggy, put it that way.
Yeah.
Those are acceptable bugs, I would say. So yeah. Yeah, and then we kind of already talked about Serpentine too.
Yeah, we did.
So yeah. So okay, that's it for neutral. So overall impressions. I will start. I think here's the best way to discern whether you like the patch or not is to ask this question. Would you rather play before Season 3 Reloaded or after? And my answer to that would be after.
100%, yeah. There
are some changes that are cringe, like the snapshot spam that's now happening, and the fast travel system. But the fast travel system still is like some new thing that like gets me excited because it's new and shiny and different. So there's like the novelty aspect that's always the case when there's something new added, even if it's terrible. And the like weapon buffs and changes has been cool. The UI has been a massive improvement. Overall, I would definitely rather play now than prior to Season 3 Reloaded. This patch also was ambitious, and they actually tried to do a lot, which they have not always done. In fact, many times they have not done. We've gotten a Season 3 Reloaded patch where we get a bolt action fucking shotgun, and that's all. And it's like, holy shit, this is the same game. What are we doing? At least they tried a lot of shit, and that's good. And that's what Warzone needs right now because it's super stale. So I think overall, I give this Season 3 Reloaded patch a 7 out of 10. It's good. It's fun. And I'm glad that they're trying to do a lot of shit, even if some of it is missing the mark in my view. And it's definitely more fun to play now than prior to Season 3 Reloaded. So overall, it has some blemishes, but I will take this patch. It's pretty good.
I'm with you. So we were super disappointed when Season 3 came out, and we made that known. We had very bad things to say about Season 3 because they hyped it up so much. Well, here it is. It all came now. So next time, Ted, just don't say you're hyped for Season 3. Say you're hyped for Season 3 Reloaded because nothing came in Season 3 at the launch. Correct. We got a horrible, boring LTM that I played for 20 minutes and then never played again, and that was it. So Season 3 Reloaded, it has been a nice change of pace. There's been some fun things in there. Nice changes, you know, the HUD and whatnot. And a good point that Leia just said in chat that I forgot to talk about today. The servers do feel a lot better. I think dropping the player count helped a lot with that, which is unfortunate because that means we can just never have more players than that. But I haven't noticed server issues. Have you?
No, I haven't.
I think
my game crashed once, but that's
your game did
it.
crash. I've noticed. I feel like my performance is even probably better, which makes a lot of sense. I'm sure performance is better on consoles now. Xbox, finally, you guys can play at 120 hertz,
which is huge. Finally.
Which is huge for console gamers. Yeah, I mean, imagine buying a new Xbox like that and not being able to use one of the best aspects of that Xbox. the whole time Caldera has been out.
Reasons to have
Exactly.
a next gen console. I know. Yeah.
Nice 120 hertz, by the way. I'm on 244, but yeah. So a lot of good changes in here. Absolutely agreed. It's a lot more fun to play now than at the start of Season 3. Start of Season 3 was a massive letdown. It made me so uninterested in the game because they hyped it up and we got fucking nothing for it. So with this update, I tried to not get hyped up because I said I wasn't going to do that again because Ted hypes everything up on Twitter and then nothing changes. So yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised with this and got a lot of good things. It's been fun trying out different guns using the BAR and whatnot. The only worst thing by far right now is the snapshot meta, which is not great at all. I'm excited to try Rebirth too. We have not played Rebirth at all.
Yeah, we got to try Rebirth soon.
So we are excited to try the 300 health. I'm hearing mixed reviews. A lot of the sweats actually don't seem to like it, but I'm not trying to 1v4 everyone for TikTok, so I think I'll like it.
14 KD, so I think I'll be fine. Yeah,
I'm not an 18-year-old in Adderall. I'm not as good as you, so
Raiden PC.
I don't think Raiden's on Adderall. He's about as normal as they come, actually.
I was kidding. I just like making
slander.
fun.
Well, he should sue you because that's slander.
Well, you should.
Got it.
So and
6.9 out of 10. Nice.
Oh, your rating for this patch. Got it.
Nice.
Cool, man. Nice. 420 out of 4.20 out of 10. And that Tanner said it perfectly. Is here's the disconnect between what the devs think people want and what people who actually play the game, which is none of the devs, by the way, don't forget that, think people want, which is that they got real excited for Season 3, but they didn't add anything at people that actually play the game give a shit about. And then they did not really hype up this patch, which actually added a bunch of functional, different, new, good changes to the game that did impact how every single game is played. And that's what people like a lot more. So if you're a dev, hey, we don't care about your flashy LTMs. They don't matter. Stop wasting time doing them. Instead, make changes to the core experience that I will benefit from or feel the effect of each and every single game. And that is going to go a lot further with your player base and contribute a lot more to their enjoyment than some LTM. Even if the LTM is the best LTM ever, even if Operation Monarch was the best LTM ever constructed in a single video game, it would still not be in the game anymore, and it still wouldn't matter and wouldn't have made Warzone any better, right? Because it's an LTM.
Yeah.
Waste less time and resources and brain power. You don't have much to spare over there on dogshit LTMs because they don't matter for your actual game. Rub those few brain cells you guys have together instead on actual changes to the core gameplay experience like you've done with Season 3 Reloaded. And then people will be a lot happier.
Yeah.
That's the biggest point for the devs who are in fact listening. So there you go.
Yeah. Biggest thing, by the way, the worst thing about this update is we still have the background noise of Godzilla in the menu when we don't have the event.
Awesome.
Ted, get that the fuck out by Monday. I swear to God, if I load up Monday afternoon and I hear that goddamn sound, I'm losing my mind. Stop. Stop it. Get it the fuck out now.
We gotta stop. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is it. Hope you enjoyed. As always, let us know what you thought of our first impressions, where they line up and where they don't line up with yours. A few reminders for you Damascus patrons. If you're here live, poker tonight, 6 p.m. Pacific, be there. We're having Thomas Henderson on the program next week, 12 p.m. Pacific time, June 4th. It's going to be extremely fun and exciting. So be here live. And last, but certainly not least, you can go to thedropshot.com and find everything related to this podcast, the TikTok, the YouTube for video versions of the podcast, and, of course, the Patreon, where we do 7 bonus episodes per month. It is the best way to support the show. We offer a ton of bonus content, obviously 7 bonus eps a month, monthly hangouts, and more. Patreon.com/thedropshot is where you can check that out. Get those bonus eps, support the program. It's the best way to support the program. Thank you all for watching and listening. Have an excellent evening, of course. And as always, remember, stay humble.
Stamble.